I'm a strong advocate that one of the most important features of a character is how cool they look. Hell, that's how I choose my main in any game. So today, I thought it'd be interesting to go through some of the villain designs from a franchise that has some of the most interesting looking villains. Yep, that's right. We're going to be taking a look at Dragon Ball villain designs. And let me make it clear that this video is not about the characters themselves, just entirely how they look. So we're essentially going to be judging all of these books by their jacked and wacky ass covers. First on the list, I felt we should start with a villain whose design is honestly a good example of what Dragon Ball villains are. So I went with Piccolo. Demon King Piccolo? Okay, I couldn't actually decide between the two, but I feel like they're different enough to have two separate reigns. So here we go. Demon King Piccolo is a wrinkly ass slug alien, but at the same time, he's a lot more than that. The important thing to mention is that Kami's also a wrinkly ass slug alien, and of course it's later explained that these guys are sort of the same person, but that's probably complicated enough for its own video. Anyway, Piccolo's features really sell his demonic look, and this is honestly without making him look like a stereotypical devil, making Demon King Piccolo an intriguing and fear-instilling villain.
7.5 out of 10.
Now honestly, I wasn't sure whether I'd just count him alongside Demon King Piccolo, but Piccolo Jr. has his own vibe, you know? He keeps the obvious features of Demon King Piccolo, but at the same time adopts his own style, with the obvious change being his turban, which would eventually become a staple of Piccolo, as he was transferred from a villain to an ally.
8 out of 10.
Now, a villain which I can't award such praise is Raditz. I mean, I can cut him some slack considering he's the first main villain of the series, but overall his design is a little bit basic, and his Saiyan armor makes him look slightly goofy, which is why
4.5 out of 10.
Now, in order to really show off Dragon Ball's reputation for villain designs, I have to mention the best ones. First up, the Short King himself, Prince Vegeta. This motherfucker is the perfect example of looks being deceiving. A little bit of context is that when Vegeta rocked up, he was with the GOAT himself, Nappa.
5.5 out of 10, by the way.
And Nappa by far was the way more physically intimidating of the two, his big ass muscles and Shaquille O'Neal frame. So when the Saiyans made it to Earth, motherfuckers assumed that Nappa was the biggest problem. But nah, Vegeta, the dwarf demon, was the more powerful of the two by an immense amount. Either way, he obviously rocks the Saiyan armor the best.
9 out of 10.
An important thing to mention though is that Vegeta doesn't just have one design. He has quite a few. Not many while he's still evil, but there is one that I feel is way too iconic not to include, and that's... This design is so great. It's honestly on par with his first appearance. Everything about it works so well. The way it looks like the evil is just coursing through Vegeta. Like, he basically just returns to his roots, becomes a bad guy again, becomes a villain again. It's so great.
9 out of 10.
Now we'll move on to... And honestly, I didn't know whether to just rate Frieza as a whole or rate each of his forms individually. So, I've decided we're just going to quick fire the forms. First form, 6 out of 10. Second form, 6.3. Third form, 8 out of 10. Final form, 8.5. It's goated, but it's simplistic. Golden Frieza, I don't know, 7 out of 10. And if we're doing manga, Black Frieza is honestly 8.5.
Ha! Forget the cell games. You wanna play DS?
I thought you never asked.
Cell is up next, and wow, this man has some insanely designed forms. Starting things off, we have Imperfect Cell. The introduction to this form is one of the coolest in all of Dragon Ball. Having this eerie tone in Dragon Ball was slightly unusual, but for Imperfect Cell, this works perfectly. Even after he's revealed in all of his slightly disgusting glory, his conversation with Piccolo is interesting as the viewer and Piccolo realize what Cell is.
9 out of 10.
Honestly, all I can say about this form is that it's a step down from the last one. Keeps the trend of appearing grotesque, but nowhere near to the effectiveness that Cell's first form does.
5 out of 10.
Perfect Cell is perfect. No, genuinely. His narcissistic tendencies that were present in his previous forms are shot through the roof in this state. Cell embodies what he believes he is, and in doing so, alongside his more humanoid features, he becomes a genuinely perfect villain in terms of design and character. But that's not what this video is, so...
10 out of 10.
Okay, so for this video, I genuinely didn't know whether to include movie characters, but the movies have some of the coolest looking villains, so we're gonna go with...
Men of this, men of that. Have you ever met a fucking girl before?
And I understand that character-wise, he's really not that interesting. He's basically just a carbon copy of Boo. Like, he has the fat form, and then he turns into a monster that screams. Really boring. But his design is insane. I mean, he has that cool-ass sword. He can turn himself into Lego bricks. He can open portals. Yeah, Janemba is
9 out of 10.
Alright, so now onto some more obscure villains. I feel like we've just been doing the main ones. So we're going to move on to the Cybermen, who are plants. I mean, are they plants? I mean, Nappa plants seeds in the ground, which give birth to the Cybermen, but they're also, like they move and make noises and stuff. I think they're plants. Either way, they look really weird and creepy, and I don't like them that much. The coolest thing they do is blow up Yamcha, which is like a meme everywhere. So,
4 out of 10.
now onto some really lazy designs, and for this, I've put down Turles because he's just Goku, but darker. Speaking of darker Goku, Goku Black is just Goku with black clothes. That is so lazy, but it looks so damn cool. Both of these guys are 6 out of 10. Now some more which I could probably quickfire. The Ginyu Force. I mean, first off we've got Goldo, which is just like...
It's the biggest piece of dog shit.
4 out of 10. We have Raccoon, which is probably the laziest design I've ever seen. He literally has nothing cool going for him. He's like a 3 out of 10, honestly. Jace is... The fact that he's Australian is kind of funny.
Jane! Stupid! Stupid! Piss!
But at the same time, his design is lazy, so I'll give him like a 5. Berta's like a 6. And Captain Ginyu is about a 5.5. And with that final little quickfire, that brings this video to a close. If it does well enough, or if anyone wants it, I'll make a part 2. So leave your requests for characters in the comments, and I'll see you next time.